While Bitcoin is right now breaking out of its daily downward sloping trend line, yesterday we saw a major $5 billion crash. And on today's update video, I'm gonna quickly break down why this happened, what you should be looking out for right now. I will be discussing the most important news stories of today here. I'm gonna talk about my forecast of the upcoming week for Bitcoin. And of course, I'm gonna be talking about the CME gap we exactly filled up already over the course of this weekend. The most important trend lines on Bitcoin right now here. The most important charts that are telling us something about what is literally happening here next. So don't forget to once again watch this video till the end, because it's gonna be definitely a very interesting one to be watching. It is packed with information on not only Bitcoin but also Ethereum and some other altcoins. So don't forget to once again slap on that like button back above 1,000 likes will be highly appreciated, and let me jump straight away in towards today's update video. So to kick off the video, yesterday there was something very weird happening, because out of nowhere an altcoin that was absolutely massive, listed on Binance, crashed over 80% towards the downside in a matter of hours. And this happened when 17 wallets deposited about 43 million mantra, which was about 4.5% of the total circulating supply, towards an exchange. And apparently they dumped it, and you can see what kind of an effect such kind of a dump has here. Also, we got some statements that there was huge long liquidations happening from Binance on Mantra, and of course that was the reason why we did saw a major crash towards the downside. I already saw a lot of people asking me about what happened over here, so that is why I decided to discuss this in my video very shortly. But yeah, make sure to stay safe here. Whenever an altcoin increases so quickly towards the upside, it can also fall very quickly towards the downside. So yeah, this is of course a very unfortunate development which we got over here. Further on, I want to be discussing the fact that today, once again, we're going to get the opening of the stock market, and probably we're going to get some more volatility hitting the markets again here. Over the weekend, we created the CME gap, and just like last weekend where we exactly filled up the CME gap on the Friday, this time around, we already filled up the CME gap before we even got started here on Monday. So basically today in the middle of the night, we filled up the CME gap, and now Bitcoin is already starting to be pushing average so slightly higher. The reasons, of course, why Bitcoin is moving higher is that the stock market is also pushing average so slightly higher on the opening on the futures market. And this is of course happening due to the fact that some tariffs are expected to be getting dropped by Donald Trump here, and the market is of course reacting quite positively towards that. Then still on the 4-hourly time frame, we're looking at a downward sloping trend line, and really where I am going to be looking very closely towards is not necessarily this downward sloping trend line right here, guys. No, it's going to be the daily time frame for Bitcoin, because I'm very much aware that Bitcoin indeed is breaking above the daily downward sloping trend line. But what we should really be looking at is the break of the EMA ribbon and the break above the previous high in the market, which is going to be for sure around 87 to 88,000 US dollars. So that is exactly the level where I will be paying my close attention towards. Whenever Bitcoin breaks above the previous high in the market, then I'm going to be saying, okay, now I will be confirming we're probably going to be going higher. But as long as we're not breaking above that high, I won't be certain that Bitcoin is right now creating a bottom and that Bitcoin is going to be seeing the continuation higher. So for me, it is all about the confirmations in the market. And as long as we're not breaking above the range high, I'm not going to be calling this a confirmation of a bullish breakout towards the upside. So that is exactly where I'm looking at for right now here. Honestly, in the last 24 hours, we got some very exciting news, because still companies like Meta Planet are still buying more and more Bitcoin. Yesterday, they bought over 319 Bitcoin, which is quite big of a buy for them here. And also, of course, the market is pumping ever so slightly. And also, we got some news from Donald Trump, because because for sure, what is going to be happening between China and the US is for sure going to be having a huge effect on all markets. Then yeah, we're still seeing negative funding rates across most of the altcoins. Fear and greed index still extremely fearful on the stock market, but as also on crypto. And of course, if we're looking at the liquidity lead here, we do know there is a massive amount of liquidity entering the markets in the upcoming weeks here. And the consensus is that Bitcoin is going to be following this. So yeah, it is very exciting. And I mean, every single time historically, whenever we have retested such kind of a previous high in the market, it has always corresponded with a bottom in the market. And this signal is also flashing right now here, which in my opinion is actually quite an interesting signal, which is flashing right now here. So super excited about that here. And guys, honestly, if you want to be starting to trade Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies out there right now here, that you don't like to take a big risk in the market, the best way to trade right now here is for sure with grid trading bots here. And if you're interested to copy my trading strategies on Bitcoin or Ethereum, you can go to the link description of today's video, copy my trading bots, and you can basically make profit very easily, because what my trading bots do here, they accumulate along the way down here, sell along the way up here. You can see my Ethereum strategy is a little bit of in a loss here, but actually I already released some profit on my trade here, and that is why it is currently in a loss here. The total sum, I am still in the profit, but anyways, this is really the best way to accumulate right now in this market. And honestly, as the prices are probably going to be bouncing, I'm going to be making a significant profit. And of course, if they dump a little bit more here, I will just accumulate more in towards my trading position. So honestly, super excited for what is about to be happening next year. And I will be just slowly cashing the profits from my trades here. So excited for that here. Also further on, I am currently really looking at some very interesting charts on the dollar index. It's right now a new week, and there's a very big chance we're going to get a breakdown over here. And if this does happen, this breakdown, we could be in for a major treat on Bitcoin and especially on altcoins. So yeah, a lot of things to be discussing still here, because if I'm looking and comparing all these charts towards previous cycles towards each other, this is one of the more better zones of accumulation, especially for altcoins. I mean, Ethereum is right now retesting the previous low in the market. And for the ones that don't know it, yesterday we saw also a mysterious will accumulate over 15,000 Ethereum worth about $26 million US. And also President Trump is still holding more than $500 million worth of Ethereum. And that just shows you that he is very much convinced about what is going to be happening next for Ethereum. And I mean, if you're looking at Ethereum on the monthly time frame, the RSI in the monthly time frame is right now hitting a low never seen before. Historically also a great opportunity for the market. And we're also seeing that the net taker volume is massively going up again here, showing us that the sellers are basically getting exhausted right now here, which is once again ultimately a super great signal for the markets right now here. So if I look at all the data, it is really a very exciting point of accumulating. I've been buying so much Ethereum around this region between $2,000 and $1,500, and of course I will continue to do so even if we drop down to $1,000. I really think that Ethereum is a great zone of accumulation in this wider region right here, and ultimately the profit is going to be following us as well here. So yeah, this is my strategy. This is what I'm currently doing here. The markets are getting quite excited. I mean, Bitcoin looks like also it is starting to create somewhat of a bottom structure, but for me to confirm the bottom on Bitcoin, I need to see that break above $88,000, right? That is what I've been saying for all along right now for this in this market, and this is exactly what my consensus is going to continue to be here. So this is it for me in today's update video. If you did learn something from it, don't forget to slap with the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.